Hey guys, want to show your support to the channel and get some awesome rewards at the same time? Then go check out my Patreon page where at whatever tier you choose that fits your budget, you'll get plenty of rewards such as updates and announcements on the regular, exclusive sneak peeks of my videos before they go up online, get yourself credited, and receive a special shout out at the end of my videos and more. Go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack427's to start pledging today. And don't forget to also check out and consider gifting me any items I have listed on my Amazon wishlist and even supporting me on my Streamlabs tipping page that'll also help support the channel directly. Links are in the description box below as well as on my link tree for you to check out. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Take care. Hey guys, like what we do on our channel and want to see more videos from us? Then not to worry about a thing. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as turning on the notification bell so that way you can see more of our videos coming up very soon. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new thoughts video for all of you guys, and well, I guess seeing of how June is about to come to a close as we speak, and of course July will be already on the horizon, and yeah, it's hard to believe that we're already well past the halfway point, and of course 2025 this year, but hey, what can you do? So yeah, given to of course that front hands down, I think it makes sense for me to actually pretty much get myself in for, of course, the last couple of releases for, of course, this month for sure. And surprisingly enough, it is actually quite fitting because, well, just right around earlier today, by the time I'm recording this video, looks like I'm in for another double feature this time around. Yeah, you know exactly what that means. See how I did a double feature this time around. I'm giving you guys 2 thoughts videos on the exact same day for sure. So yeah, that's my treat to all of you guys for sure. So yeah, and of course, as usual for sure, we might as well talk about one of them here today. And well, I guess for this latest one that we're here to talk about, well, it actually has been some time since I've talked about pretty much one of the films from this studio for sure. So yeah, but I think it makes sense to finally talk about them once again for sure. So yeah, I think it's about time that we finally get ourselves in to talk about a brand new film by well-known horror movie studio Blumhouse. So yeah, I guess it is quite interesting because yeah, it has been some time since I've talked about a Blumhouse movie for sure, and well, I do know I have been missing out a whole lot. Of course, a good chunk of movies that they've actually released for sure. But I might as well we might as well make up for it for sure with, thankfully, the latest one that just dropped as of recently that I got the chance to see. So yeah, and surprisingly enough, I guess for today's movie we're going to be talking about, I think it makes sense to talk about pretty much the latest movie from them that's actually about a killer robot girl that is also given to us by James Wong through his production company, Atomic Monster. Yeah, I think that can get you the idea of course, what I'm talking about here today. So yeah, and surprisingly enough, it's been a long time coming since I've actually touched upon this subject matter a couple of years ago for sure. So I think it makes sense to finally jump on board on this long-awaited bandwagon for sure. So yeah, I guess with of course this little hint that I actually gave, I think it will give you the idea of course, what I'm talking about here today. But for those who don't, I think we might as well get ourselves in with, of course, the latest film that just came out, which is none other than M3GAN 2.0. So yeah, that's of course what we're going to be talking about here today. Not only is this the latest film that just came out not too long ago, but it's also the long-awaited sequel to, of course, the Smash, man, I can't even speak today, so, yeah, but it's also the long-awaited sequel to the smash hit horror flick. Thank you, I finally said it right, which is, of course, M3GAN, So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alrighty then, well, before I can go ahead and talk about this latest movie, I think it makes sense to recap, of course, what I actually felt about the first film for sure, So yeah, and it is quite fitting because if you may recall, a couple of years ago, I actually did talk about M3GAN back around the time it was actually out for sure. I mean, granted, around the time I actually posted my thoughts video on that, I was rather late to actually join in on, of course, this bandwagon, but I still got the chance to see it regardless, alongside a man called Ago, to which I've also talked about a couple of years ago for sure, and yeah, I guess in regards to pretty much the first film, hands down, yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that I really enjoyed M3GAN for what it is for sure. I mean, despite the fact that the title character herself, pretty much the way she actually looks and how she's presented for sure does fall into the uncanny valley for sure, I still find it to be a really great horror flick for what it is. Yeah, I actually thought it has a really great story, interesting characters, some brilliant acting, especially from, of course, Allison Williams and Violet McGraw for sure, and that's just to name me a few, So yeah, I guess it is one of those films that some people can actually describe it as just a regular old run-of-the-mill horror flick for sure. But I say give it to, of course, M3GAN's design for what it is. It really embraces some modern-day camp for sure, but still actually comes across as not only a pretty hilarious good time, but also a very satisfying horror movie, hands down. And I think that's pretty much what I got when I actually first saw M3GAN back when it first came out for sure. But again, if you want a little bit more detail on why I enjoyed that movie a whole lot, then go watch my thoughts video that I did a couple of years ago for sure, to give you the idea of course, why I'm actually going for hands down. So yeah, I guess if anything, regardless of course, pretty much what you may actually think, and well, let's face it, even from the trailers, it did got a lot of people rolling their eyes and even snickering a bit, but it actually did pay off in the end, and yeah, I myself actually really enjoyed M3GAN for what it is, amongst plenty of others who have also seen it for sure, So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. So I guess give it to that thought alone, especially since after seeing the first film, hands down, I was actually really looking forward to seeing what the long-awaited sequel will have to offer for sure, to see if it can actually expand, of course, what the first film actually did for sure, and well, I guess pretty much if anything, I actually did kind of hope for that, pretty much when I first saw the trailers for sure, despite the shifting, pretty much genre change for sure, but I still think it can do something clever, hands down, to still make it funny and enjoyable, so yeah. And luckily enough, I did manage to get myself in just in the nick of time, and yeah, no joke, I was almost rather late getting myself in to see this movie because, well, probably, I guess, something around misreading the time or something, but regardless, I did manage to get myself in to see this movie as part of my double feature that I actually did, all thanks to the kind people at Crown City Cinemas, as usual. Still really love going to see the latest movie over at that place, so yeah. And of course, I did manage to get myself in to officially see this movie for myself, so yeah. And now that I've officially got back from, of course, seeing it, what do I think of this movie now that I finally got the chance to see it? Well, I guess for what it is, it's alright for what it is. I mean, granted, it's not really as terrible, pretty much, for what it is, for sure, and thank God for exactly that, because there are some parts in it that I actually really do enjoy, for sure. But compared to, of course, everything that we've seen in the first film, hands down to what we got with this one, yeah, I think it might have been a bit of a downgrade for sure, and yeah, it does result in being very lackluster, to say the least. So yeah, I don't really think this movie is great, but thank God it's not terrible either. I just kind of felt it was alright for what it is, and yeah, just a rather decent flick for sure, just So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Okay, I guess I'm done with that. Alrighty then, well, now that I've officially got the short version out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about everything that I need to talk about. For starters is, of course, the story, and well, I guess given to what I've actually seen by far, I really do like what it's actually going for with its story for sure. In fact, it does actually present itself with some really nice and unique ideas that they want to throw in for sure, and yeah, I really do think they can actually throw in something really clever, and I really do think this movie is really going that route quite well in some areas. But as for a few others, I will have to say, yeah, honestly, I think I just kind of felt it was a little out of place for, of course, this movie for sure. And yeah, given to, of course, what I've actually seen by far, I really do felt that they could have actually done some things to really actually try to make this all the more engaging for sure. Something that I could actually really get myself hooked onto all the way, but we've rarely actually seen any of that in, of course, this movie, and I do find it rather disappointing that we couldn't get exactly that for sure. But I'm not saying the story is all bad for sure. Again, I really do like that there are some unique ideas they want to throw in, and for some parts that actually work, it does work hands down. But I wish it could have been a whole lot more with much more proper execution that could really help fuel, of course, what this movie is wanting to do by far. But that's just my opinion for sure, So yeah, and of course, for the writing, I have to say, yeah, again, I really do think it does have some good concepts on paper, but I guess as far as execution, from what I can gather, I mean, I guess if anything, it's not terrible for what it is. In fact, I really do like what it's actually wanting to do for sure, and again, some parts of it are actually written out quite well. But however, a few others I will have to say just really do feel clunky and disjointed for what I've actually seen, and I think it could have used a whole lot more proper execution for what it's actually wanting to do. Again, not bad entirely, but I just wish some parts of it could have been reworked or even rewritten a whole lot more to actually make it all the more interesting for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for the story and the writing for, of course, this movie. Again, I really do think they got some good ideas that actually are quite nice and could actually work quite well. But given to what I've actually seen by far, yeah, could have used much better execution in a few other areas that just doesn't work by far. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alrighty then, well, now that I've officially got those two out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about pretty much the next couple of things I need to talk about, which I guess next up is, of course, the characters, and honestly, I think given to what I've actually seen, if there's anything positive that I can say about this movie as a whole, I do think some of the characters have actually grown a bit, and of course, the first, pretty much since the first film actually came out for sure, and it really does show from what I can gather, though. Granted, I think some characters, I will have to say, could have used a bit more development to help understand their growth by far to really get us on where we need to be. In fact, some of the characters, I will have to say, are a little bit too cliched and not really that interesting to really get myself investigating by far. But the rest, I have to say, are actually quite nice for sure, and yeah, I really do like some nice given to development by far compared to how they actually did in the first film for sure. So yeah. But either way, despite some that I think could have used pretty much a whole lot more to make them likable and interesting for sure, I say the characters are fine for who they are, and yeah, again, some of them have actually grown since the first film by far. And as for the actors who came on board to play all these characters, yeah, I guess another positive thing that I can say about all this is that I really do think the acting in this film is actually pretty damn good for sure. I mean, yeah, I guess given to the material that they have to work with by far, which some parts of it are a little lackluster to say the least, I really do think they did give off some pretty good performances, in my opinion, that I can really get behind for sure. And again, I really do think two of the ones by far, which are, of course, Allison Williams and Violet McGraw, actually really do stand out as, of course, Gemma and Katie for sure. You can tell that they've really changed a whole lot compared to the first time we've actually seen the two in the first film by far, and it does show in their performances hands down. Especially when they actually encounter M3GAN again, like they did last time for sure, so yeah. But either way, I think it's what I can say on that front for sure. I really do like some of the characters, I will have to say, despite the rest actually being a little bit too boring and cliched, in my opinion. And again, I think the actors, I have to say, actually did pull off some pretty good performances, in my opinion, that I can really get behind for sure, so yeah. That's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alrighty then, well, now that I've officially got those two out of the way, what else is there for me to talk about? Actually quite a whole lot for sure, so yeah, I guess pretty much of anything, again, pretty much like any other horror movie, I should definitely talk about the toning atmosphere for sure, and, well, honestly, compared to the first film from what I've actually seen, yeah, I really do felt the toning atmosphere, and of course, this movie kind of, yeah, well, I mean, I guess for some areas, it does work fine from what I can gather, but hardly anything actually gave me a pretty good scare from what I could gather, pretty much like any other horror movie for sure. And yeah, I'm getting, they want to play out, of course, pretty much trying to go a different route in changing up the genre for, of course, pretty much for this movie, and even go for a nice shift in tone for sure, and, well, you could actually do that if it actually pretty much could work well to the film's advantage, like pretty much, for example, the first two Alien movies for sure, where the first film actually plays out as a regular horror movie, while the second film actually plays out as a really great action movie for sure, and yeah, given to those two movies I've actually mentioned, they do work quite well, and And yeah, pretty much Alien actually works well as a great horror movie, and Aliens, and its sequel, Aliens, does play out as a really great action movie for sure. But given to, of course, what we've seen in this movie by far, yeah, I mean, granted, some parts of it actually does work from what I can gather, but hardly the rest actually fits in with, of course, everything that goes on with everything else that happens during the course of the movie for sure. So yeah, I think it's what I can say as that massive issue for sure, and I really do think the toning atmosphere could have been a whole lot better for sure. And of course, for the production design, I have to say, well, I guess pretty much of anything, I really do like what they actually did for sure. I guess with, of course, each and every location they've scouted out to some brilliant set pieces they've actually put together for sure. It actually is quite nice and really does work quite well to what this movie is going for with its look and style for sure. And of course, the visuals and the effects, I have to say, well, I guess pretty much of anything. Again, they did follow through on the uncanny valleyness with, of course, what they have to do, especially for, of course, M3GAN. But I will have to say, the rest I have to say is actually done quite well for sure, and yeah, it really does really give off some really good styles of that really are actually quite nice for sure. So yeah, I mean, granted, I think they could have actually done a whole lot more with, of course, with the amount of blood and gore from what I can gather for sure. Like, I mean, I do get it. They want to downplay it just so that it can play off as a regular old PG-13 horror movie, hands down, which is fine, yes, but obviously they could have pulled it off. They could have pulled off some stuff to really still try to make it work quite well, but that's just me talking for sure. So yeah, and of course, the direction of this film from the film's director, well, I guess if anything, I do admire the hard-working effort he actually did to make this movie work quite well, given to the material that he has to work with for sure. And yeah, I think it is fine from what I can gather, but nothing really to write home about for sure. And of course, the cinematography, I have to say, well, I will have to admit, it is shot well with some really good camera shots that I will have to say are actually quite nice for sure. And of course, the editing, I have to say, it's, I will have to admit, it's kind of fine for what it is, and yeah, again, nothing really to write home about for sure. It's fine for what it is, and of course, it pretty much does, it does actually try its best to be, well, I guess pretty much of anything, I guess for the film's pacing, as my last thing that I should mention, well, I guess it does blend in with the film's editing by far, but I will have to admit the film's pacing, I will have to say, again, I think it does work in some areas from what I can gather, but the rest I will have to say hardly does from what I can gather for sure. So yeah, but that's pretty much what I can say. Of course, all those hands down for sure, and I think it can get you the idea on how I actually felt about this movie as a whole. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say. Of course, that front. Alrighty. Alrighty then, well, I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie as a whole, so yeah, overall, M3GAN 2.0 is a pretty decent and yet pretty lackluster sequel to, of course, the first film that yeah, some parts of it actually do work quite well, while others probably could have used a bit more to make it all the more engaging for sure. I mean, granted, it's not all bad from what I can gather. Like I said, I do think there are some parts in this movie that I really do think work quite well and really are quite interesting to watch. But given to everything else from what I've actually seen by far, it really, it hardly does anything that could really grab my attention for sure. So yeah. But either way, I think with, of course, what I've actually said by far, yeah, maybe some parts of it I think could have been done a whole lot better to still making a really outstanding movie out of it. But again, some parts in it I do think are actually quite good for sure, and are actually quite nice to actually watch for sure, and yeah. But yeah, either way, I think you can take it for what it is for sure. I do think this film is decent enough for what it is. It's not really as great as I thought it was going to be, but thank God it's not awful for sure. I do think it's actually a alright sequel on its own, but compared to the first M3GAN movie that we actually got, it is a little lackluster to say the least. Not by much, but only a little for sure, so yeah. But I guess if it is something up your alley for sure, then I think this movie is a harmless one to actually check out for sure, so if that's something you're actually looking into, then by all means, I say definitely check this movie out for sure. You're probably not going to get much from what I can gather, but you're still going to get a pretty alright sequel for what it is. But I think you're better off just sticking with the first film on its own for sure. So yeah, not really as great as I thought it was going to be, but not terrible either. Just a pretty decent and yet somewhat lackluster sequel to a movie about a killer robot girl that I really don't want to pull off the shelves anytime soon. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, for my final score, yeah, I guess I'm going to take what I say for what it is, and I'll give it a 5 out of 10 as my final score. Like I said, it's not great as I thought it was going to be, but like I said, it's not terrible either. I just kind of felt it is a decent enough sequel on its own for what it is. But I guess give it to what we've actually seen in the first film, and kind of what we're hoping we thought we would actually get with this film. It is a little lackluster to say the least. Not by much, but only a little for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alrighty then, so yeah, with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie as a whole. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and by all means, I want to ask all of you guys, what do you think of M3GAN 2.0? If you've actually seen it for yourself, do you absolutely really enjoyed it and think you loved it as much as the first film, hands out, or do you absolutely hate it and think it's not really as great as the first film? Or are you somewhere in between like I am for sure, where you think it's alright on its own, but a little bit of a downgrade compared to the first film for sure. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below on what you thought of this movie if you've seen it for yourself for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and well, you pretty much know the drill, seeing how I did do a double feature for sure. Whenever I talk about one movie for sure, I have to talk about the other one for sure. So yeah, I think it's what I can say, of course, that front. So tuning at right around 11 a.m. Pretty soon to pretty much to talk about the next movie that I got the chance to see for sure. And well, I guess that would lead to an ultimate question: how am I gonna get Brad Pitt into Formula One? Yeah, I think it will give you the idea on what I'm going to be talking about next for sure. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack427TV to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the ThomasFan1, SamAttack4427TheThomasFan1 Productions for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and playing more in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyattackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.